When I first got Crosshairs in my inbox, I was a relatively new editor, and I kind of didn't know what you were supposed to look for in a fiction book except that you were supposed to fall in love with it. But how do you know that this one is for me and that I should be the one to publish it? Someone told me you'll feel it. It'll hit you like a ton of bricks. And that is what happened when I read this novel. The thing that first drew me in was this was a dystopian story, which is to me defined as a story where extreme things are happening and you're put into a situation where it's do or die. You've got to decide what matters. What am I going to fight for? Who's going to be at the top of my list to save? And I've always loved those stories because as a person of color, as a queer woman, I know that we're actually put into that situation in real life and more than people may realize. And reading this book was literally like finally seeing the people that I love, that I care about, that I've always, been in these extreme situations, finally centered in a story. So the story starts with Kay, a child of Jamaican and Filipino immigrants who has finally reached this point in his life where he's starting to soar. He's had a really hard childhood. He was a runaway, but he finds his calling as a drag queen. And the scene where he finds his voice is so beautiful because it's also the same night he meets his true love. And it's like the beginning of his life where he starts to take off. But somehow in the middle of all of that, the end of his life is also attempted in that a revolutionary, a paramilitary group comes together to sort of try to take over the government. One of my favorite scenes in the book actually came out in the editing process. It's where Kay performs for the first time as a drag queen. And I loved it because look at this beautiful character finding her voice as Kay, the character Kay, on stage and being able to see her dance and sing and literally find her voice for the first time. That was magic for me. It's honestly what made the book come alive. Sometimes in those edits, those second and third rounds, that's what people don't know is the details of love and life are what the characters are going to remember more than even the action. And that's what came to life for me and what makes me love the book so much. And I just hope it comes alive in your heart the way it did in mine.